Here we are. Yes, hello. I'm sorry, I just need to work out this new system. We're trying YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So, gosh, I look as if I've been dragged through a bush. So great to see you. Let me make a few adjustments and we're ready to go. Fantastic. So welcome everybody. So this is Tea with the Druid 126, 18th of May, 2020. I wanted to talk to you about a lovely new book that's just come out called Losing Eden by Why Our Minds Need the Wild by Lucy Jones. Last 2 years ago, I suppose it was, or last year, maybe 2019, beginning of 2019, two authors actually, Catherine May, who wrote this book, Wintering, that I talked about in an earlier Tea with the Druid. These two authors came and saw me, and we talked about nature and Druidry and so on. And they've come up with beautiful books. Catherine May's book is a beautiful perspective-shifting memoir that teaches us how to draw from the healing powers of the natural world and to embrace the winters of our own lives. And then Lucy's book, which has just come out, really looks at the way our relationship with nature and the wild is something we really need to work on and develop to not only for our sanity, but for our physical health and for the survival of the planet. And urgent and uplifting, Losing Eden is a rallying cry for a wilder way of life, for finding asylum in the soil and joy in the trees that might just help us to save the living planet as well as ourselves. And of course, these are themes that are making many people turn to Druidry now. A lot of people are turning towards Druidry because they want to deepen their connection with the natural world and with nature. And I think a very fair question to ask is, what actually can Druidry offer? I mean, is it not enough simply to spend more time in nature, to do gardening, to learn about wildlife and to involve yourself in conservation projects and so on? Is it really necessary to follow a path like Druidry or to follow a spiritual tradition in that way? And I think there are a number of very good reasons. And the reason I'd like to talk about today is the particular aspect of Druidry which unites three of our really basic needs, and it weaves them together. So we have this need to be in touch with nature and the natural world, to re-establish that connection that's been eroded by modern civilization in many ways. But at the same time, we have cultural needs and artistic needs. And the bardic tradition is all about helping us to awaken the bard within, the creative self within, and to open to this kind of wellspring of creativity. And here's the thing, is to unite it with our love of nature. There's a way in which, by connecting with the natural world and with our creativity, we find that the two are intimately related. So an incredible synergy takes place. And this is what these books are really talking about as well. They're beautiful books, they're beautifully written, and they're talking about how the cultural self, if you like, and the artistic self, the creative self, is nurtured and inspired by and supported by the natural world. But what Druidry does as well is, into that mix, it adds our spiritual needs, an answer to our spiritual needs. So it's saying that by working with nature and with art and with creativity, we can also respond to a yearning of the soul. And I think it's these three sides of the self, the artistic and creative, the spiritual or religious, if you want to use that term, self, and that self that wants to be in touch with the beauties of nature, the power of nature and the wild. And by weaving those three together, we can find an immensely satisfying path. And what I wanted to do, I'm just going to check the comments here, because what happens with this is the YouTube and the Facebook comments feed together into one feed, which is just lovely. It's like bringing Catholics and Protestants together, as I can see Pat Booker in Northern Ireland there. It's like, I don't know, it's bringing two worlds, Macs and PCs together, YouTube and Facebook, and bringing them together all in one place. So when you turn to Druidry, I suppose this is a question I was trying to ask myself, do we just need to get out in nature more? And that's all we need. We don't need anything else. But for me, the reason I need Druidry is because I do want to get out in nature more, and I do love being in it. I want to spend all my time outside, to tell you the truth, in this kind of fabulous weather we're having with all the blossom and the flowers and everything. So I want to spend all the time outside. But also, I want to read poetry. I want to look at beautiful art. I want to express myself creatively. And I also want to open my soul to levels beyond the external, beyond the realm of physical manifestation. I want to travel in consciousness to different realms. I want to experience being in other ways. And so if I turn to Druidry, I'm going to open this introductory package. When you first approach the order, we send you a bunch of stuff. One thing is an antique, which is a CD, and then what we call our love poster, which is all about Druidry and love of nature is one of the main things. And then various booklets on the sacred grove and wild wisdom, an introduction to our work. And then two guessi entitled Approaching the Forest. And these are the beginning. That the idea here is it gives you a sort of sample, a feeling for the teachings of the Druids. And so there's some written material here, and there's poetry. There's always poetry. There's the section called the Eisteddfod, which is a Welsh word, which means a festival of listening. This wonderful way in which listening is honoured. We listen to the bards. And I just wanted to have, traditionally in these tea with the Druids, we have a meditation. I talk for about 10 minutes, and then we have a meditation for about 10 minutes. And what I thought we could do is, let's start with the Song of a Nightingale that somebody sent to me. They emailed me the Song of a Nightingale. And then what I'm going to encourage you to do is, for our meditation, I think let's make it slightly different. Imagine you're looking at a beautiful glen, a gorgeous glen, which is green and fertile. And I'm going to read you a 14th century Irish poem. Deirdre remembers a glen, very famous poem, but it's full of the most wonderful imagery. And just to invite you to allow the poem to evoke these images for you, so you can just sink into these images and allow them to rise up in your awareness with as little effort as possible. Some people see things very clearly. Other people just sense them without necessarily having any particular visual images. So letting the nightingale lead us in. Here we go. So let's just take a moment, you might like to close your eyes, just to deepen the experience. And take in a deep breath, hold for a moment, and then breathe out deeply. And just imagine that you're gazing upon a fruitful glen of fish-filled pools. Beautiful your rounded hills of wheat. Remembering you causes me great distress, glen of bees and the horned wild ox. Glen filled with cuckoo, thrush, and blackbird. Joyous forest to every fox. Glen of garlic, green with cress. Flowering clover, curly-crested. The clear voice of the red-backed deer under the oak tree, high on the summit. Gentle hinds, and they so timid. Lying hidden in your well-wooded glade. Glen of the scarlet-berried rowan, fruit praised by every flock of birds. For the badgers, a sleepy seclusion, quiet in their burrows with their young. Glen of the silent, blue-eyed hawk, glen with rich bounty from every tree, glen sheltered by peaks on every side, glen of the blackberry, wild plum and apple, glen of the sleek, brown, flat-nosed otter, leaping lightly, freely fishing. Many are the graceful white-winged swans, salmon spawning in the stony streams. Glen of the tangled branching yew, glen of mists and gentle cows, glen of the clear, brilliant sun, glen of the graceful women, perfect as pearls. And just gazing at this glen, just allow yourself to feel connected to the earth, the green grass beneath you, looking down at the stream with the salmon swimming in it, the otters, the birds flying high in the air. And you feel at peace on the earth, and you allow the energy of the earth to flow up into your being, bringing you a sense of energy and stability. And then you look at the sky above you, the clear blue sky with perhaps just a few white clouds, and you breathe in the energy of the sky. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And looking out on this landscape, you ask for a blessing. May there be a blessing on this earth, a blessing on this land, a blessing on all of life. And then gently you allow your awareness of the scene to fade as you become aware of being fully present here and now, facing your computer screen or your tablet or your phone. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. And so I hope you enjoyed that brief dip into some poetry and some connecting with nature. And have a wonderful week. Joan Fisher says this poem brings tears to my eyes. Such a beautiful poem, says Beth. That was timeless. So if you'd like longer meditations in nature, these meditations on Tea with a Druid are always short, because I think there's a value in brevity, and And it also, I think, short meditations show the way in which it doesn't have to be a big deal. You know, the way meditation can become this whole thing of like, oh gosh, I ought to meditate, but I haven't got the discipline, or I don't have the time, or whatever. That I think the value in doing short experiences like this is that one can realize how simple, how quick it is to dip into the meditative state in this way. But it's also, of course, nice to have much longer meditations. And if you'd like to do that, I've started, since the beginning of lockdown, I've started a sort of home retreat. The idea of one poem, one or two poems, and a meditation once a week. And the meditations are longer. And they're usually lying down. So you lie down so you can just completely let go and allow your body to be recharged. And if that interests you, it's free. It's on, if you go to my website, philipcargomm.com, and I'll post the URL. It's called The Garden of Flowing in Perpetual Happiness. And the idea really is, you know, that it is that you can do, I'm trying to find the URL as I speak to you, but I think I can do that. If you go here, I think that goes out. Then you can. You're very welcome, and there's one meditation every week, and there are 9 up there already. So there we go. Yes, it's gone up. Yeah, it's gone up there. Lovely. Okay, so lots and lots of love. Have a wonderful week. I hope your previous week has been good, and I know it's very difficult for many people. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. So many, many blessings. Bye.